what I'm going to run you through today is something that quite a lot of people do tend to struggle with, something I struggled with when I started, that is time in preparation of food and getting enough veg and fruits in your diet. So I'm going to run you through how to prepare all your vegetables and all your fruit so it'll keep for a week so that you can use it on the spot when you're cooking, all in about 20 minutes. I'm just going to run you through what you'll need for your fruit and veg preparation. Okay, so we're going to be freezing the fruit, so what you're going to need is some foil and a couple of flat baking sheets. They can be trays, but it depends how much room you've got in your freezer, and obviously you're going to need the fruit that you're going to be preparing. For the veg, all you're going to need is the veg that you're going to have during the week, so I like spring onions, asparagus, peppers and more of that kind of stuff, some chilies. You're going to need some nice sharp knives, a chopping board, your Tupperware for storing your veg, and also a bag for all your trimmings and your rubbish. So I like to make quite a lot of high protein desserts. More recipes will be coming soon. What's quite useful for this is having fresh fruit, but fruit can go off quite quickly. So what we're going to do is we're going to prepare the fruit, we're going to freeze it. We're going to freeze it and we're going to bag it up. So then when we want our desserts, all we've got to do, take it out the freezer bag and plop it in. If we just put the container straight in the freezer, as you would imagine, all the berries might stick to each other. So this is just a quick little hack, little technique that will make sure that doesn't happen and you can pick as many berries as you like when it comes to your time. Just take one of your baking trays and you just need to cover it in a sheet of foil. Then what I have here are blueberries and raspberries. So what we need to do is just basically cover our tray with our berries of choice. And there should be enough room on one tray for this. Try and smooth them out into one layer. Now if you want all your fruit to be separate, then obviously you'd want a second tray for the raspberries, but I don't mind having a mixed berry selection because they're going to be tasty as they are. And lay them out into one sheet. Now I'm primarily going to be using my berries in desserts, and berries just straight away can be quite tart, can be quite sour. So what I like to do is some calorie-free, all-natural sweetener. This is based in stevia. I'll write an article about that soon. Is just sprinkle some of this sweetener over my fruit. And then all you need to do is then place that tray in the top drawer, or in fact any drawer of your freezer. Leave it for a few hours, and what will happen is when they're frozen, they'll all be frozen separately, and then you just tip them from the tray into a standard freezer bag. When they're in the bag, they'll all be frozen and separate, so you can just unwrap that bag and pull them out as you will. All I've done, pack of 4 bananas, 18p each. Peeled them all, bin the peels, we don't need those. Take one of your knives, take a foil coated tray, and then all we're going to do is literally slice up our bananas individually and pop them onto the tray. Okay, so now all our bananas are chopped and sliced and arranged on the tray. So that's 4 bananas, so you could probably fit about 5 on a tray, obviously depending on how thickly you slice them. So as I said before, I'm going to be using a lot of these in my desserts. One thing I love in desserts is cinnamon. Also helps boost your metabolism slightly. Good if you're on a fat burning program. So I just want to dust banana slices with the cinnamon. Really good flavour combination. And because I want to treat myself, again, just sprinkle with some of the calorie-free sweetener. So all I'm going to do now is pop those in the freezer with the berries and leave it for a few hours. So my bananas are still freezing. I've got my berries on the go in the top drawer, and as you can see from last time, these are some that I've still got left over from prep beforehand, and they're all nice and separate but frozen solid, and I've still got some slice of banana left as well. Uses for these, well, you can actually eat them straight from frozen. Because of the nature of the berries and the content, they don't freeze fully solid. So if you eat a few of these as a snack, they've got a texture kind of like an iced lolly or a Solero, can be quite refreshing. Or if you just pop them straight from your bag into one of your desserts, then they defrost nicely and you've got fresh, juicy fruit. So the berries are freezing, so now I'm just going to prepare my veg. Normally I'd be watching an episode of Pokemon or something like that as I'm doing this, but I'm talking to you instead. So, general principle, dice a veg as you would for a meal. Instead of putting it in food, you just put it in a tub. Easy. So I've got the spring onion already done, one packet of, and I've just tubbed it up, lid on, and then it's ready to go in the fridge. What I'm going to do is I'll show you a few tips for the other vegetables. Not going to run you through chopping the entire lot because that will be quite repetitive, but we'll see how we go. So firstly, asparagus. I love this stuff, got a nice gentle nutty flavour. All you need to do for asparagus, generally, you see the woody ends where it's turned kind of brown, you just need to get rid of those. They're done, that's all the waste you'll need. Then you can either leave them whole for griddling later, or if you're going to slice them, I like to do the lower end into smaller chunks, but then try and keep the tips whole, as these are your posh bits, these are the fancy bits, and these are the ones that carry most of the flavour. So I'm working through sorting the peppers out now. If you didn't see the recipe video, first of all check it out, but I actually showed you a nice quick way of preparing peppers. I used to spend ages on this, but all you need to do is get both your thumbs into the middle of the core and push down. Then you just need to tear the pepper in half, and what that does is it automatically pulls out the core and most of the seeds. All that's left to do, trim the bits off and chop it however you want it in your food. So chilies, we like to de-seed them. First of all, I just chop the top off and then chop them lengthways. Take a teaspoon, chili de-seeded. Fruit's frozen, all my veg is now prepped, but one thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a little cheat that I learned in how to prepare garlic. See, I love garlic in my food. It's very good for you, good for the blood, good for the heart. So I like to get as much as I can. But I really hate peeling it. I hate peeling it, I hate chopping it, and it's not necessarily the best way to maximise the flavour. So a little tip that can show you how to peel an entire bulb worth of garlic cloves in probably less than a minute. So you need to take your garlic bulb and a rather large Tupperware tub, place the palm of your hand on top of your garlic, careful because it can go everywhere when you do this, and just press down, and what happens is all your little lovely cloves separate themselves out. So pick out your cloves, then chuck them, scientific term there, into your large Tupperware. Might look slightly strange, and this is going to look slightly stranger. Now you need to put the lid on your Tupperware, make sure it's locked, and then literally shake it as hard as you can. Now you might need to do this a few times, but what you will notice is the garlic has peeled itself. So it may take you 3 or 4 goes to get the whole bulb done, but afterwards you get a nice lovely set of peeled garlic cloves. All our veg is now done, it's ready and it's in the fridge. Takes up slightly less space than it did in the first place, no packaging to worry about, and now we can just grab it whenever we need for our meals. Hopefully you've learned how to save a little bit of time in the kitchen following my techniques. We've been Ragnarok Fitness. Don't forget to check out ragnarokfitness.com, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook and Twitter for more updates, and we'll see you soon.